Alright, YouTubers, here we go. Here's the installation. Well, I guess you can see it's already in. That is the Jeep Cherokee steering shaft, and this is a 92 S10, and it does line up. It fits good. Had to do a slight modification on here, just underneath the bolt. Just take a Dremel and kind of clearance it so the bolt can go all the way through, but other than that, both ends fit. And I want to show you, or I guess tell you, the reason why I had to do it. I know a lot of guys like to do it, but for me, I had to do it. I didn't have any other choice because the clearance between my headers and this steering shaft didn't work for me. So you can see how big this is here. This actually, in the vehicle, it actually goes like this. This is the rag joint on the bottom to the steering box. And the problem I was having is this is too large. So when I was mocking up my headers, I have these monster 1 3/4 headers, and when I was mocking it up, this was very close to the header, and that motor might move just a tiny bit, and I don't want this knocking into the header. When I measured this, the circumference around here was approximately, I want to say 2.5 inches or so. On the steering shaft for the Jeep, you're looking at about 1 inch, a little over 1 3/4 inches, and I'm talking about this circumference around here. So for me, I didn't have any other choice. Now these are the headers that I'm using, and like I said, the shaft actually comes up through, let me think how it goes here. It actually comes up over this tube here. So maybe it sits underneath. I can't remember exactly where it's at. Either underneath or over. But anyways, that knuckle, if I turned it or the motor moved just right, it was going to hit the header tube. So that's the reason I did it. One other thing I did was I cut off, I'd say about 1.5 inches on the inner tube, and then about 1 inch off the outer tube. And that's because in order to get the headers on, you gotta put the headers on first and then put the steering shaft on second. So for me, I'll take this bolt out. I needed more room here, so I took 1 inch off there, and on the inside it's about here, but it was all the way up here before I had cut it, and it just wasn't allowing me enough clearance there to go back far enough for when those headers are on to pull this up and try to put it on. So that's the reason I just had a clearance off about 1 inch, 1.5 inches off of each end. I like the look. I might clean it up a little bit and paint it, but other than that, the other bright side to it is how it's set up here. You can see my wheels. It's slightly canted to the left, but the steering wheel is about dead on. So that's awesome. You don't have to change anything with the steering wheel. And it actually looks a lot nicer. A lot of guys like those U-joints. The one here and the one here. I went to the junkyard. I found an '89 Jeep Cherokee, not the Grand Cherokee, just the Jeep Cherokee. The first one I found, the '89, already had the steering shaft out of it. The second one I went to, the door tag said it was a '93, and so I got this one out. I actually had to loosen up the steering box here. There was 3 bolts just like here. Had to take them out in order to get enough clearance to pull out the shaft, because the shaft was budged on there pretty good. But anyways, from what I have read online, it's anywhere from a late 80s Jeep Cherokee to the early 90s. I don't believe you can go past the 94, otherwise things start changing. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, or at least gave somebody some education in case they want to change theirs out. Very simple, very easy, looks good. And for me, it was a necessity. So if you're running huge headers and that steering shaft might not clearance, this might be a good upgrade for you in order to get that to clear. So thanks for watching, and leave remarks.